This week on It's Happening Out, the Easter edition. Mayor Pete wanted to take a gay cure?
When I began to halfway realize what it meant.
Herman's a great guy, and I hope he does well.
Donald Trump dominates the headlines. On our road to Stonewall and Savage.
I'm looking to the support, starting in the office of the president, on down all through the culture and all through society.
Our very own top chef, Josie, cooks up green iguana.
Centering.
It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guests, South Florida's Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. And NapoleonPlays. And your host, fashion designer Carlos Marrero. Trans activist Aaron Phoenix. Reality star Chef Josie. DJ Diva Power Infiniti. Log Cabin Republican Joe Brookman. And our host, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, good evening, America, and welcome to another episode of It's Happening Out, America's most popular live gay talk show. We have a doozy for you tonight. You're not going to believe some of the things that we say and do. And one of the things that we're going to do tonight has to do with a reptile. And I'm talking about the one in Washington, D.C. Oh, no. It's going to be a fun show. Welcome. Let us get the show off to a right, interesting start.
Would you like to use some English words?
Wait, I'm
Usually
going
I'm
to
the one that
talk.
stutters a little bit.
I got it. Well, there's the first point. This show is live, and so anything that happens in this show, you're seeing it live. This is not scripted. Anything that you see tonight is exactly as it's happening live. And that makes this a lot of fun. As a result, I should first indicate Joe Brookman is still on that mysterious vacation in Washington, D.C. They're getting together. The Mueller report is tomorrow. They're preparing whatever their response is going to be.
Be ready,
and
Joe.
as a result, we have a guest host with us tonight, NapoleonPlays.
Napoleon.
I'm back, you guys.
Woo.
Now, there is a rumor on the internet that Napoleon has killed Joe Brookman, and he's having him held up someplace. We don't know, but we'll see next week when we hear Joe Brookman is going to be back with us. It's happening.
Or maybe
now.
we're the same person.
Yeah, or you're definitely not the same
We're
person.
the same
dude.
person.
Yes, no.
Ooh.
That joke with Sean Palacios and Power Infiniti doesn't work
Oh,
for you and Joe
racism.
Brookman.
Got it.
Right.
Racism's okay here.
All right, let's get one thing right off the bat. We're happy you're with us. This is a live show. Please share us on your social media, like us, and let people and your friends and family know about It's Happening Out. That's how we're growing. And you've done it really, really well because we have really big news tonight. When we started this show on September 20th, 2018, we had about 12,000 total viewers. Just recently, guess what happened? Here's where we went to, and we're going to show you a little short video tease about where we're at now. Watch this. Okay, as you can see, we've hit 350,000 viewers for It's Happening Out.
That's amazing.
We're very excited about it. And
Trump
that's
can't even
because you
count
like
that
us
high.
and you share us on your media. All right. Before we get into our headlines, let's start about what's going on this week. And we want to show you this little holiday video that we prepared for all of us, actually, at It's Happening Out. Watch this.
Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya, Dieser Bina Babi Jezuze Chad Gad Ya, Chad Gad Ya. Kadei shurchat, karpas yachat, magi rachza, motzi matzah, maror korech, shulchan orech, safon barech, halel nirtzah. Kilo na'eh, kilo ya'eh, kilo na'eh, adir bimlucha. Kilo na'eh, kilo ya'eh, kilo na'eh, adir bimlucha.
Well, a very special week, and on behalf of all of us here at It's Happening Out, regardless of your religious faith, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, we wish you coexistence and peace, and we hope we can find that. And we thank Ari Gold, a friend of It's Happening Out, and his brothers, the Gold brothers, in terms of our celebration this week.
Any
and
religion
whatever
or
you
lack
do.
thereof.
Yeah. We always begin our show with we always begin our show with a meme of the week, and we have a really good one. We're going to talk a little bit about Game of Thrones, but this is our meme of the week. We thought this hilarious. Game of Thrones, it's here on the screen now. Game of Thrones meets Rocky Horror. This is how the Game of Thrones really ends.
I love this one. I feel inspired to do things now.
No,
The
show
day
us.
starts now.
Pretty good statement. Anybody watch? No, let's not talk about Game of Thrones yet. Let's hold on. Next, we also introduced the show right at the top of the show about the best thing of the week. And there's this interesting phenomenon going on. I've kind of gotten into it about getting into the gym and trying to get healthy. And then we watched this. This is a new way to go to the gym and get healthy. Watch this.
Oh, man.
I don't think I could do that. As everybody knows, I have a broken arm and a new plate in my hand, and I basically would be a quadriplegic if I was doing.
But did you see the cute guy like thrusting forward and getting all jiggly?
all jiggy.
While we're
Yeah.
watching people
Yum.
gracefully turning it in heels on gym equipment, he broke his arm dancing. I just want everybody to know.
Stop the reads, dude, because they're
Irregular
going to come
shoes
right
on
back to
regular
you.
floor.
Right back to you. All right.
moving
Well,
floor.
best thing of the week, we loved it, exercising in heels. Next thing, as we get ready to start here, I will continue to ask, as always, the number one question that comes from you, our viewer: why are these people still talking? And so we've implemented this opportunity of providing a timer, and then we've given them all a chip. Everybody can see the chips that they have, and if we expire on the time for each of the topics that we're doing, we say, why are you still talking? And the only way that any of these hosts can continue to do it is to throw a chip in and buy me a drink. Now, it is true, at Wednesday nights when we go out and about at Wilton Drive with our friends and our hosts, I drink a lot, and that is because of these chips. They can throw a chip in, and then they get 1 more minute of uninterrupted conversation. But I, again, caution you, use it carefully, because you can only do it once in our show. And that's what the chip is all about, and why are you still talking?
We can only do it once, but you have 2 chips.
I have 2. That's because
He
I've
doesn't
already
even use
collected
them.
them.
He just keeps going
He's
anyway.
an alcoholic.
He goes to every bar and says, like, give me a
Stop
chip, give me a chip.
reading. That's right. All I have to do is
Act like you
carry
don't
them
have
in
the
on Wilton
excuse.
Drive, and they accept.
I was a wino.
All right.
Oh! Power's off her meds
That's
tonight
funny
and
because
just
it's
reading,
true,
apparently.
America.
It's because I took a glass of wine, red wine before the show.
Yes,
so
exactly.
wanna be up on
And
my
speaking,
business.
let's get this right on the way. We are very excited as we tell you, of course, we're coming from the gayest place on planet Earth, Wilton Manors,
Super
Fort
gay.
Lauderdale, Florida, the gayest place on planet Earth.
Ridiculous.
And the proof of that tonight is we are very excited in that from this little country burg up in central Florida called Lakeland, Polk County, where Power lives. Yeah, this edgy DJ Diva lives in a little country burg up in central Florida.
With
Polk
6
County,
cats.
with many,
And
many
chickens. Look at her coat. She killed 10 of them today.
we have 10 of them. We have proven today again that this is the gayest place on planet Earth because Power's husband is in the studio room tonight, Kyle. And we're very excited because he talks about him all the time, but everybody challenges whether he is real.
And he's pasty and tasty.
We're going to have a fight on our hands before the end of this show. All right. Exactly. All right, let's get right into it, and it begins with headlines. First off, Mayor Pete. Heard of him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What a week, and in the last 24 hours. Amazing. Of course, this week, Mayor Pete from South Bend, Indiana, is the first gay presidential candidate in history. And he not only opens the door, he kicks it down and busts it open. Watch what happened this week in his announcement.
And to Chasten, my love. Yeah, I'm pretty fond of him too. For giving me the strength to do this and the grounding to be myself as we go. I'm here to join you to make a little news. My name is Pete Buttigieg. They call me Mayor Pete. I am a proud son of South Bend, Indiana, and I am running for President of the United States.
America, I don't have to tell you the obvious. This is an unbelievable moment in our history. A presidential candidate announcing he is running for president who kisses his husband in the announcement and then walks off the stage hand in hand. Amazing, amazing moment. What did y'all think about the announcement this week?
Let me just say this. With the Democrats, we have a lot of people in the race right now, and to be very honest with you, Pete Buttigieg is definitely a necessary voice in this race. He has the resume, he has the education, he has the work history. I don't know if he has what it takes to be the president, but he definitely needs to be in this race. He needs to continue speaking his truth. He needs to continue to use this platform as a tool to communicate his heart. And that's what we see is every day he's coming out and communicating with his heart. And I think that's going to connect with a lot of people. And that is probably what's setting him apart at this moment.
As a 52-year-old man, I never thought that I would see two gay men being able to get married, let alone seeing somebody running for the President of the United States of America. So to me, this moment is amazing. Is he the one? We don't need to figure it out yet. We're just listening to conversations that are very exciting.
Point.
So the part that pisses me off is when we, the Democrats, start picking up on all of them, and it's like, bitch, give him a break. He just started, he's killing it, and you don't need to start bringing him down because he's just opening
tell
the
me how to
roads
live
for
my
the
life.
next one.
I come from the exact opposite point of view with that. I always thought that I would see this, and that's why this show is important, because it helps put a spotlight on something that this is normal to me. I've grown up not with politicians that come out as gay, but with people that are more comfortable with it. I grew up in art schools, so to see what big a deal this is
Oh,
through
that's what
other
happened
people's
to you.
eyes, yeah, that's what happened to me. To see how this is so effective toward America, toward this culture, toward everyone watching.
I
that's
love
the size.
that observation because honestly, I don't want to sound too Pollyannish on this week, and it's easy to be Pollyannish on this week, but I love that because it gives me some optimistic hope for the gay community and America. And the proof of that is this week, Gallup did a flash poll on Mayor Pete's announcement, and Gallup, the best polling organization in the world, asked Americans not only about gay, but could you accept a gay president of the United States? And 70% of all Americans answered yes. An amazing moment in our polling because if you remember just 10 years ago, it wasn't even 50% that could accept marriage. And now the majority of Americans are exhibiting optimism of where we're going.
I love
Big
him.
news.
I love him because of this question that I'm about to ask. Who does he think he is? And I don't mean that
I love
insultingly. Who does he think he is to actually take that step forward and dare to say, I can be president and be gay? And I think that in and of itself is historic.
Yeah, absolutely. Big headlines this week in the news. Next headline that we want to talk about is the magnificent Notre Dame Cathedral. We're going to show you here a moment, a little personal thing from It's Happening Out about the cathedral in Paris. Watch this.
Well, I made it. I'm at the top of the towers in Notre Dame in Paris. 437 steps. This is probably my 20th trip to Paris. I have never been to the top of Notre Dame before. You can see one of the gargoyles behind me there at the tower, and over my shoulder the Eiffel Tower. It's been quite exciting. It was actually a little easier than I thought it was going to be, but I'm here at Notre Dame Plaza here, and it has been a lot of fun. So I'm just saying hello to everybody at home just to prove that I actually did this. It's really exciting for me.
Well, of course, that was an exhilarating moment for me. That special tour that the cathedral did for me and being able to walk to the top. This week, of course, our hearts sank into or rose into our throat in terms of what we watched. Let me remind you of what happened this week at Notre Dame. Well, as I said, our hearts go out to the French, but this is far beyond the French. The entire world responded to those video images, and it's why I show you the personal notes from me and my visit. And I know most of us have been to Paris and seen Notre Dame. The one silver lining in this is big portions of the cathedral perhaps can be saved, and more than $1 billion has already been pledged in the first 48 hours since the disaster. But our minds and our hearts are with Parisians and the French and people all over the world. Other big news this week is talking about Julian Assange and his arrest. The WikiLeaks founder creates several issues about the freedom of the press. One of the things that we thought was interesting about the WikiLeaks founder's arrest was our president of the United States and what he said about his knowledge of WikiLeaks. And I don't know if y'all realize this, but President Trump basically had no knowledge of WikiLeaks until the news of this week. In fact, we put this little montage together. Watch this.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing. And I know there is something having to do with Julian Assange. I've been seeing what's happened with Assange, and that will be a determination, I would imagine, mostly by the Attorney General, who's doing an excellent job. So he'll be making a determination. I know nothing really about him. It's not my deal in life.
What would you like to see happen? What punishment?
I don't really have any opinion. I know the Attorney General will be involved in that, and he'll make a decision. Okay.
And as the founder of WikiLeaks is charged by the U.S. and arrested overseas, President Trump says he doesn't know anything about WikiLeaks. It's not his thing. But maybe you remember when it was.
WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks. This WikiLeaks stuff is unbelievable. It tells you the inner heart. You got to read it. It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks. This WikiLeaks is fascinating. This WikiLeaks is like a treasure trove. Getting off the plane, they were just announcing new WikiLeaks, and I wanted to stay there, but I didn't want to keep you waiting. Boy, I love reading those WikiLeaks.
Well,
that's gonna be my new ringtone.
We have an obligation. It's happening out to try to tell truth.
yourself out.
We just tried to tell the truth. In terms of the fact checker, I commend our production department for connecting those dots. Any thoughts about what happened to Assange and Trump's comments about WikiLeaks? I think power might.
You know, if we were to fact check Trump on every lie that he told, and we were to do that ding, 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 we'd be here for the entire time, the entire hour or two that we are on air. Do you guys not find it ironic that Trump brands the press as the enemy of the people, yet WikiLeaks is to be celebrated and hailed by him? I mean, does anybody else not find that a bit ironic?
Yeah, the radical free press.
Yeah.
That's what dictators do. They get you against the press. So we're seeing him just enact the whole long little list of things.
Yeah,
Machiavellian.
absolutely.
Do we think WikiLeaks is still a viable media outlet, or they were just the flash in the pan in being able to be assisted by Russia in espionage, reporting the stolen espionage, and as a result, they're really not a press outfit that we even care about?
I don't know about WikiLeaks per se specifically, but I hope that they are an inspiration for other whistleblowers, personally.
Okay, well, big in the news, of course. Also in the headlines this week, our president has decided that he's going to escalate the argument and debate on immigration and the wall a step farther. He has tweeted this week, and we're showing you a slide about it, about sanctuary cities. And the president tweeted that, okay, if you're not going to give me what I want, basically you love illegal immigration and you create sanctuary cities, and I'm going to ship these immigrants to your sanctuary city. Good luck. And that's what he posted in his tweets. He's escalated the argument of immigration and the wall another step. What do y'all think about that?
Shit, I gotta move.
First of all, he's talking about releasing people into cities. Like, they're not fucking zombies. They're human beings, first of all. They're not like something that's going to be unleashed upon the world and, like, you know, attack it. And it's not even a threat. You know, saying that you're going to send people to sanctuary cities, that's literally the exact reason that sanctuary cities were established, was literally, what does it say on the Statue of Liberty? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. That's literally exactly what the whole point of a sanctuary city is. So, come on.
Exactly, though. Then how can we have it both ways? How can we argue against Trump for doing something and then not against him for doing something? Right now, we need to say thank you, Trump, because you're actually doing what we want you to do.
Yeah,
it's not a negative thing. Let's just go with it.
I'm not arguing against him.
Wait. I have a question. What do the sanctuary cities actually say?
Well, the sanctuary cities, which is an interesting point that I hadn't considered. The sanctuary city basically says we are not going to allow ICE, for example, to intercede in our jurisdictional boundaries to do an export. And I wanted to come back to your point. Is what you just said, the Trump administration in moving immigrants that they detain to sanctuary cities actually a good idea because it places them in a place that's safer than federal detention?
It's what we're trying to get them to do to some degree. They're doing what we ask. Maybe not exactly how, but they're doing it.
That's fascinating to me because I haven't heard that observation before. And interesting. Of course, we're watching the immigration debate and the wall debate. We talk about it
and following
ad
Cher.
nausea.
Cher
Joe,
respond to Trump.
We need you back, and it's happening out because I would love to have an ally in this conversation. Next,
I think he just said he wants me gone, Joe. So
yeah.
you can just punch him in the face.
Right.
The shade is real.
I was going to say, I'm glad he heard it.
You claim you're only a Republican on paper.
Yeah, right. Also in the news this week, the church burning suspect in Louisiana has been arrested. Turns out he was the son of a deputy sheriff in a county in Louisiana. We're showing you a slide about it. What do you think about what's going on in Louisiana and these church burnings? Any
Well,
thoughts?
I would like to point out that the suspect, whose name is Holden Matthews, is not a Muslim. He is not Latino. He is not ISIS. He's not a refugee.
He
let
white.
that, let that soak in. Okay.
He's also probably
He
not
is
a Jew.
A white.
Just
that
throw
is
that
probably likely true.
He is a white, homegrown terrorist emboldened by Trump. So, America, let me just say, once again, we have a serious problem that a wall will not solve.
So is that what the story is here? Because I understand it that burning people, burning churches is bad, that racism is bad. But what confused me about this story is that it's making such huge headlines. There are lots of tragedies that happen every day. So for this to be one that's getting onto the show or getting a lot of publicity, is it about that? It is about Trump behind all of this in some way? Is that the big deal?
I don't think. I think Trump is. I mean, Trump needs to be noted because he does justify and kind of give a little bit of validation to people that do these things. But the headline is because of the fact that this is obviously racially motivated.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't burn down Catholic churches. He burned down 3 black churches.
Historically black churches, it said. Yeah.
Also in the headlines, in case you were asleep or in a coma, Sunday, a little event, production at It's Happening Out had a viewing party for something other than RuPaul. Highly unusual in the gay market. And what did it was this little thing called Game of Thrones. I hear numbers between like 60 and 70 million people watched. We're showing you a little video. We don't show you
70 million
any
what?
people watched.
And a few
That
puppies.
didn't sound like people to me.
People and puppies.
So we're showing you a little of the video as we talk about Game of Thrones. It was spectacular. 6 episodes. Unique was the number of people that watched. Unique was the number of people that talked about it. Headlines in alternative mainstream media. And also significant that $30 million was spent on that single episode. What do y'all think about this phenomenon of Game of Thrones?
Oh my God, so I had never actually watched it. I've tried to watch this show for such a long time, and it really, in the first 2 seasons, is dull. But I sat down over someone's house, my sir and my alpha, and I sat down, and I was forced to watch it. They took my phone, they tied me down, and I watched the last 2 episodes of the last season, which started off really boring, but then I was hooked. I was so invested in things that I'm trying not to spoil, but the characters, it's a masterclass in acting. You can just know the entire backstory just by seeing one eye roll from Cersei, and it's not the goddess, but it was just so much fun, and I can't wait for every new episode, and I can't wait to watch all the other 67 episodes.
Bitch, this is what happened when they tie him down.
My only takeaway from all that was that his masters forced him to
I call them that for a reason. They know how to handle me.
The other thing that's scary. The other thing that's scary to me is I completely agree with everything he just said, but in a completely different way, which means the nerdishness that I just watched, is that who I am too? Am I?
I guess
this
because I don't
nerd?
understand the word
No,
either
tell
you
us we're
just said.
Oh
different.
my gosh.
Please, for the
Anyway,
love of
Game
God.
of Thrones, I can't wait
Spirits.
for Sunday night. Can't wait.
I love all
Can't
the
wait.
further wear.
Okay. Right.
Now here comes Peter.
Winter, right? Winter is here, America. Winter is here. All right. Last breaking news. Production and the show doesn't have a slide for this. I'm just telling you breaking news. It's happened over the last 2 hours. John Bolton is here in South Florida. He was at the Biltmore Hotel in Coral Gables today. John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, has announced that the Trump administration has reversed completely the Obama administration on their policy for Cuba.
Boo.
In fact, they are going to re-implement a total embargo on Cuba, and it has escalated the embargo to make it legal to sue in the United States any companies worldwide that provide any services in Cuba, and you will be able to sue them in U.S. court. This potentially is an economic death nail to the country of Cuba. We are going, Josie and I and Joe Brookman and representatives from production and Marcy and other guests for an American delegation on May 9th to Havana Pride. And I only tell you that if you have any interest in seeing Cuba, you should do it now immediately. The end of travel is in front of us. The craziness of what is being decided on the night before the Mueller report announcement, they take this challenge of the attack on Cuba. But it is an all-out attack on Cuba that will be successful.
It's
Breaking
just more
news.
distraction.
It is distraction. But unfortunately, and I
Immediate
posted this
repercussions.
right before the show came on the air, it is a distraction that will cause millions of Cubans to go hungry.
Exactly.
Hungry.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's about a lot more than what we're able to what we're able to do tourism-wise.
Exactly. And so, breaking news. If you're interested in Cuba, you should tomorrow make your arrangements. American Airlines, Southwest Airlines were completely caught off guard by this announcement. Carnival Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. It is a dramatic tourism and economic decision that is breaking news as we speak.
Well, I hope they let y'all back in.
And as somebody who has been involved
saying.
right from
Don't
the
let me
beginning with the
back in,
president
okay?
and the Cuba policy expansion, it is really heartbreaking
And
for
now
me.
I'm glad all the more that I got to share the experience of going to Cuba with Al last summer.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
experience, and I'm
Yes.
glad that I got to do it.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking for all of us. We'll watch. I only pray that it is one of the many things that he has done where he does nothing. He says, I'm going to do something, and does it. But this time, unfortunately, looks very bad. Breaking news in our headlines. Let's move on to something a little more fun than Cuba and discussions of the President of the United States. And that's a game that we love, I love, called I'd Swallow That. Now, we're going to play I'd Swallow That. It's a game where we have shots here in front of us, and I'm going to ask an agree or disagree question. In full disclosure, we have vodka shots in front of us. I'm getting ready to enjoy this immensely. Napoleon has sugar water shots in front of him, but we're all going to have a good time.
And I've
Everybody
already
knows
done
how
one
we
just
play.
because you're so young.
I'd Swallow That, right? Play
I'm
at
just a
home
wee little baby.
with
I
us.
can't
He's not
even-
legal to
I'm
drink.
not allowed to drink. Yeah.
No, Chad, you're going to tell
Yeah,
that story.
diaper fetish isn't my thing, though.
No.
It's, right?
Oh.
That's a whole other
Oh my
conversation.
God, that was
Wait,
last
that was
week.
a read on you.
Oh,
That's
no.
like a hard left turn.
Wasn't it? All right. All right,
Rocking the
let's play
hardest, though.
I'd Swallow That. Fun game here. All right. Question number one, our first shot.
All right.
Here
Did
in
you
front
say
of us.
boys?
In this cast, I'm the pretty one.
Oh.
Wait, why do I hear laughter in the bar?
Because
we're
any
coming.
of you drank it.
We're coming. Ooh,
Power,
that was a
you
strong
did.
start.
I was gonna
Wow.
say.
You did it?
By the
I was
way,
the first one.
Oh.
By the way,
Oh, I didn't
we're-
see the empty
As
I
I
was the
told you,
first one.
we're
off
coming from
focus.
the gayest place on planet Earth, Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, from our new home, the Grand Hotel Fort Lauderdale, and we're loving being here. A studio, by the way, is being built here, a permanent set studio, all kinds of events we're doing at the Grand. Question number two. I'd swallow that. I have broken furniture while having sex.
Oh, God.
God.
I've broken a rib.
I break anything
Wait,
in any
can somebody
use.
go get Kyle? We're going to verify that.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
It was his rib that she broke.
Anybody got interesting
I think production's
story?
trying to get us drunk tonight.
I was going to say, I got the warm fuzzies already.
Any interesting stories?
Mine was a pool table, so it was not super interesting, but it was curious how you could slide down it afterward. It became a slide from a pool table.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mine was a bed.
A bed? You broke it, right?
Yeah.
Mine was at the Breakers in Palm Beach. I got in so much
Oh,
trouble.
at least you did it in style.
I do.
Of course you would.
Thank you. All right.
We make our own furniture and then
Right.
so.
He hired his
Question number
gentleman to
3.
come pick up the bed.
I'd
make a new
swallow
one.
that.
Bitch, who was cleaning the bed.
You know we're playing a game, right? Y'all are,
Oh,
y'all
sorry.
are with us.
Making fun.
You're the one who led off with that question.
Oh my God. Right. I'd swallow that.
Reminiscent.
Everything.
If I could, I would switch lives with someone at this table in a heartbeat.
Forever?
Do we get to switch back?
It doesn't ask that. I would switch lives. It could be for 5 minutes. It could be for a day. It could be for a month. It could be forever.
It could be
Now,
forever.
with that
It's,
definition,
it's
I would do that.
temporary.
Oh, shit, why not? I want to be power for a night.
Ooh.
A night.
All right. Because of the music, because of the
Because she's sickening.
sickening. All right. Who would you switch? You did it. Who would you switch with?
Probably you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want to know what it feels like to be an old white rich
Can we have another shot? Can we have another shot, please?
with a big.
Now you saved yourself. Now you saved yourself.
Throw
I'm
the
going
big
to
thing.
read you to filth, but I'm just going
I
to
mean, he
stop
has it
and
all.
go,
I want to know what that feels like.
Oh,
I want to take that privilege for a
That
test
made
drive,
us
huh?
look like
that was,
no read.
Thank you. Thank
Oh
you.
my
That
God.
was very kind. I love Josie. Chef
get her the
Josie. I love
bottle,
her. I
jeez.
love her. I hang out with
He has
Josie.
a big iguana.
Thank you. I hang out with Josie and Marcy a lot. I said this story. I would take the opportunity. I'm not taking a cheap shot of the compliment she gives me. I don't really think I had a lesbian couple friend before you and Marcy, and
No.
I'm loving it. Marcy, I'm loving it. You're a beautiful person.
You guys
I
filled
love
the
it.
quota.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tokens.
exactly.
That's okay.
All right, question number 4. I'd swallow. That's right. Tokenism is fine. That's a
I'm
step
like,
in the
I'm all
right
right.
direction. Right, exactly.
This one was seen on TV.
Napoleon,
Yeah.
why do you think you're in my life?
Ooh, token.
I'd swallow that. Question number 4.
Puppy.
I have a dream. So I
told me it's to suck the life out of me.
Try to concentrate.
Squirrel.
I've had a dream so intense, I have fallen out of bed because of it.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
I'm getting,
Why is that ridiculous?
I can't remember.
Why?
Who comes up with that
I mean,
question?
I've fallen out of bed, but that was
Falling
because it was
out?
silk sheets, and I had never slept in silk sheets.
Were you at his hotel?
No.
All right. Question number 5. I'd
Technicalities.
swallow that. Wait, these shots are
I'm not going to be able to answer the rest of this show.
I know we're all glassy eyed
Like,
now.
I feel
pretty.
You're in charge, okay?
What are you
America,
talking about?
wait till the iguana rolls out. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
God.
Right. All right.
It's
Question
okay.
number
It's
5.
I'll take
Still
over
in.
tonight for Al live.
All right. Question number 5. I'd swallow that. I have repeated gossip. I promised not to repeat because it was just too damn juicy.
Oh, shit.
I've
Probably.
done that.
Do we have to be truthful?
Wait, if I don't take it, I feel like that means people don't trust me. Is that true? Someone tell me something good.
Sometimes you make mistakes and violate
You've
trust.
lived a long life. At some point, you had to have,
Yeah.
you know.
And if you have a
When
significant
you were in
other,
grade
Don't tell
school
nobody I
last year.
told you, but
All right.
Listen,
somebody tell me.
these-
No,
These
I'd be
shots
lying.
here, if you guys notice, I've taken all my shots from one
One
glass.
glass, all right.
These shots are like everybody's teeth is the color of the shot. that they
Are you
have.
for real?
Yes. His teeth is blue,
Nuh-uh.
blue down.
Yeah,
Your
Ah,
teeth is blue
shit.
down.
Oh my gosh! Look, cameras coming
you
close.
gotta rinse them.
Carlos's dentures are changing colors, right?
Now they look old like yours.
No, man.
Oh wait,
man.
America, fuck you.
Oh.
You
All right.
wish.
All right, question number 6. We got to get out of this game because I'm beginning to float a little.
These
All
shots
right.
are delicious.
I'm loving this.
Why do you only have one
Why do
left?
you think we're doing?
America,
I know
only
he
have
skipped a
This is
question.
interesting.
one left. All right, question
Show's
number 6.
over.
Teeth the color rainbow.
Show's over. I'd swallow
We finally
that.
made it in under an hour.
The executive producer right now is in my
Opposite of his sex
eyesight, and he's
partners.
going, holy crap, what's happening here? What's happening? All right, question number 6. I'd swallow that. Ready?
No. Yes.
There is someone on camera or in production at It's Happening Out that I want to see naked. God, I hate to do this
I'm
shot.
out of shots.
Really? No one?
I'm out of shots.
You're out of shots?
I don't know if I can do any more
Aaron.
shots. I'm like 97 pounds. What are you guys
want
trying to do to me?
Did you have to rub it in?
Want to is like
Yeah, one of my
it's
legs.
strong,
It can
okay?
be,
You know,
it can
want
be
to.
defined however you want
Could
to
I-
justify the shot.
Would I be curious? You
Wait.
know, like
No, wait. That's a funny thing. A lesbian. All right, let's take this opportunity. You're the only lesbian on the
know.
panel. You're a token in your
Lesbian.
segment.
Wait, you're a
Do-
lesbian?
Do lesbian women, like on the cast here at the table?
All the lesbian women on the
Yes.
cast here.
As we
You're
as
the
lesbian
only
women.
one. Yeah, don't y'all trick me up because it's
show is
going to
going
be
off
easy
the
now.
rails.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. As the lesbian on the cast or in production, does a woman, even in a lesbian situation, have
You
a
do.
desire to see a naked gay man? Gay man.
Do you know how
I
many
mean, like a
lesbians love gay porn?
desire. This is the distinction for me. You know what I mean? Like, would I mind seeing any of you naked?
That's mine is not the
No.
right word.
You
That's not the
sweet.
word.
Do I have a desire? You know, that's like a burning desire. That like, do I like dream of you guys at night? No. You know what I mean? I'm like,
That was when she fell out of the bed.
Yeah, you know, with the silk sheets and you know, like.
Now wait. Wait. I'm not going to let you off the hook. I'm going to do a follow up.
And we have
And
lots
Chris
of hotties
Swarner,
on the
I'm going to call him
production
out.
and on cast.
Chris Swarner, don't ring the goddamn bell. We're going to follow this question up. All right.
Aaron also
So
took a sip.
You have a trans activist.
Yeah.
And you have a DJ, diva.
That I've heard
And you have an
also,
older, mature white guy. And you have a Latino. And you have a cute pop.
We went over this
All
in the
right?
opening package.
Right. Exactly, America. How does that translate for lesbian women in terms of the variety of men that are sitting in front of you?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I don't have a desire to see any of you naked, but I love it if we're all at like, you know, the after party.
If it happens.
All right.
Great,
Porn
soon
con,
to a theater
Labor
near
Day.
you.
Desire
Here-
is a strong word for me.
Here's the thought of what Josie just said. The after party from It's Happening Out is fun in terms of us all getting together and having a good time. And that's what you just said. All right. That is our game.
That was a profound observation, Al.
Excuse me. Swallow that.
Profound.
Darren Lowley, the executive producer, should definitely shut down
He's back
this
there going,
section. He's going, that's enough. That's enough. All right. We'll move on.
Darren probably made this shot.
Okay, all right.
He's like,
is a
messed him up.
disaster.
We've
made a huge
finished
mistake.
with I'd Swallow That. Thank God, because I could not do one more. All right, let's move on.
Had to
Are
tap
we
out.
ready? We're moving on.
I feel
all right.
great.
Let's talk about Mayor Pete again.
Why?
Mayor Pete this week did an interview. Well, we'll hear about
You
that.
made me drink and then you went there. So.
Right.
Made.
Mayor Pete this week did a segment about I don't want to be gay. Our president of the United States candidate said, I don't want to be gay. Listen to what Mayor Pete said. Watch this.
When I was younger, I would have done anything to not be gay. When I began to halfway realize what it meant that I felt the way I did about people I saw in the hallway at school or the dining hall in college, it launched in me something I can only describe as a kind of war. And if that war had been settled on the terms that I would have wished for when I was 15 or 20 or frankly even 25, I would not be standing here. If you had offered me a pill to make me straight, I would have swallowed it before you had time to give me a sip of water. It was a hard thing to think about now. It's hard to face the truth that there were times in my life when if you had shown me exactly what it was inside me that made me gay, I would have cut it out with a knife. But the real reason that it's so hard to think about is if I had the chance to do that, I would never have found my way to chastity. But the best thing in my life, my marriage, might not have happened at all.
Wow. Wow. A first-time gay presidential candidate saying, if I could have taken a pill, I would have. If I could have cut the gay out of me, I would have. What do you think about Mayor Pete's observations about his potentially self-loathing of gay, or how society reflects on him as gay, that he would change it? What do y'all think about that?
I don't know how anybody else feels on this table, but as a little kid from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, I grew up Catholic, and gay in those days, it still was, you're going to hell,
Yeah.
period, end of story. So I would pray on my knees, shut up, on my knees to God to make me straight the next day.
Right
so
here with
if
you.
I could take, if I could have taken a pill, which I agree with him, that thank you, Jesus, God, Allah, Buddha, Shiva, the rock, I don't care who you believe in, but that pill didn't exist. Thank you that it didn't exist, because it does get better. And I just, again, we go back to the conversation that he had with Rachel Maddow, which was just an amazing conversation where there is a lesbian brainiac asking another gay brainiac, like, how did you come out? And I just think that the level of conversation has grown from here to here in less than 24 hours. And the fact that I am so excited that I could just pee. So there.
Yeah. What do y'all think?
I don't even understand why this is newsworthy.
What?
I don't understand why this is newsworthy. The fact that the man said that if he could take a pill, if he could have taken a pill. Truth be told, this was the first time I actually saw what he said. And the way I had heard about it was that he said it in the present tense. Now listening to him, I don't find it newsworthy at all, because many of us feel like Carlos felt, feel like I felt, feel like you felt. Many, many gays felt the same way. If we could have taken a pill or done something not to be gay, we would have. Now it might be different because it's a newer generation of younger children that are proud because they have reaped the benefits of the struggles that some of us and some of those of us that have gone before.
Brilliant observation. Wait, before you make your
allowed
observation,
them to be able to feel proud of who they are. Back then, it was not like that.
let me set up the observation of what we're getting ready to hear from Napoleon. He is riding the backs of all of us.
Right.
He is riding the backs of all of us, of going, we went through this, and the visceral pain that we went through, which is what Mayor Pete
I'm just going to say something that I've never said publicly before. When I was a teenager, I remember one night, I used to pray all the time. I'm from a very religious upbringing. Went to Christian church school, went to church every week, and I prayed and prayed all the time that I was not gay. If I have to turn in my chip, I will. I prayed and prayed that I would not be gay. I thought I would outgrow it. It never happened. And I remember one night, I was lying on my bed and I prayed to God, please don't let this be so. And I remember that I prayed and cried myself to sleep. And the last thing I remember before I fell asleep was turning over on my pillow on my side and a tear rolling down my eye on the side. So it was something that was so devastating to me, the very thought of being gay. Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy.
Now you're gay.
If there was a pill that came out tomorrow, believe me when I tell you, I would never take it. I'm so glad to be free, gay, black, and happy. But at the time, it was a struggle. So yes, I understand.
And that's exactly the point, that it's not about being ashamed. It's how he started. The whole reason that we have Pride Month, Pride festivals here and across the world is because it's about moving away from that shame and being happy and accepting who we are. You can't have pride and shame live in the same place about the same topic. And it's so important to make sure that you find that sense of pride, because now you can live how you can live as Power Infiniti.
We agree.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. If I need to use my chip,
you
I will
do.
use the chip.
Yeah,
I will
because I
have
want your
another drink, baby.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Carlos
Power
is cashing in. All right.
Power, you're saying that what is newsworthy? Do you know what's newsworthy? That there's women in Indiana, there's women in all over the place, and straight men who are hearing this man coming to terms with the way that he had to come out and how hard it was. And now it's kind of like the Will and Grace effect. Like, this man is opening roads for all of the next people, all of the younger, beautiful generation that is coming out to be running for anything. So to me, that's newsworthy. Maybe because we get a little jaded because we all wanted to not be gay, but there's straight women, there is straight men that are listening to this beautiful soul that is speaking from the heart. I don't care what you say. I don't see an ounce of like fakeness. I think that he speaks from the heart, like Josie said. I feel like he's on point. And there is my chip.
It's universal.
Actually, what a fantastic setup to the moment we are in. We had great difficulty in preparing this conversation. This moment we are watching, America, gay America, I'm telling you, this moment we are watching is so staggeringly significant, we probably don't even understand how important this moment is.
We'll
Mayor Pete proved this yesterday as he was in Iowa and was heckled about Sodom and Gomorrah. Watch what happened just yesterday. Watch this.
Those moments we showed you at the top of the show, what was supposed to be a meet and greet for Mayor Pete Buttigieg turned into a full-fledged rally yesterday. More than 1,600 people came out to see him in Des Moines, Iowa, but his event was interrupted twice by two anti-gay protesters, at least one of whom showed up to two of Buttigieg's event yesterday, stopping the mayor's speech when he mentioned his right to marry his husband.
And as somebody very much enjoying the first year of married life, I would say freedom is what's at stake in the idea of whether a county clerk gets to tell you who you ought to marry. Speaking of things, hello again. Speaking of things that are at stake that do not belong to a single political party. You know, the good news is, the condition of my soul is in the hands of God, but the Iowa caucuses are up to you. Our marriage exists by the grace of a single vote on the U.S. Supreme Court. And on this 10th anniversary of Iowa breaking some ground in that regard, I would like to say thank you. Yeah, we got it. Promise you, we got it. Remember the beauty of our democracy. Everyone here gets the exact same voice and vote.
That's what do you make of his just raw political performance?
That's pretty good. He really does seem to have some of the it that you need if you're going to propel forward. He stayed on his feet, and clearly it's something that he was answering from the heart and has thought about. And just, I didn't know. I was educated this week just through his interview with Rachel Maddow about his own journey with coming out. And I didn't realize that he had still been closeted when he served in Afghanistan and then came out when he returned home and said, you know, life is just too short. And it was really a very moving interview. And then you see how comfortable he is there with himself. And he seems like a person who is very comfortable with himself.
Thoroughly comfortable with himself. He's thoroughly human. He's thoroughly approachable. When he was on with us about a month ago, I asked him off air, I said, what did you fear most? Going to Afghanistan or telling your parents that you were gay? And he paused for a second and he said, wow. He said, you know, he said, I was trembling. I was sweating. He said, I was so fearful. And he paused and he said, but my parents were great. And one of those moments you say, wow, this guy's got it.
He exposed hate with love. And he did it beautifully, pastorally. He did it in a way that made you want to be there with him. And I'm going to tell you, as much as the Republicans completely misunderstood Barack Obama and had no idea how to handle an African American Democratic nominee, they will not be able to handle this guy, because he is truly working from a good center and has the words and the education and the articulation and the grounding to express it to people who even don't understand him. It's called depth, it's called moral compass, it's called faith, and it's called love for America. And he is going to be very hard to handle if they try and take him on for something that he is absolutely not embarrassed about. In fact, he embraces who he is and he embraces his God. This is the bottom line.
Again, America, we point out this is going to go down as one of the most significant weeks in gay history in terms of what we watched with Mayor Pete this week. Whether he becomes president of the United States or not is of no consequence to the significance of the week. We will watch this closely at its happening out. We want to move on and tell you about a big monumental event that is going on this week. We're a topical show, and we're a news show for the gay community and gay culture. And one of the segments of our gay community is an organization that I have always talked positively about, because I've always admired them. They're not my community, but I love the spirit that they represent, and they are called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. We're celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and we have special guests here with us tonight. But before we talk about that, watch what we've prepared on the Sisters.
The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence was founded in San Francisco in 1979 on the Saturday before Easter. 3 men went out in nuns' habits that they had cadged from a convent in Iowa City, telling them that they were doing a production of The Sound of Music, which they were. It was an all-male production. The originals were all men at the time, but one of the first to join soon after was Sister Misty, and she was a woman, because the sisters are open to, though it's in many cities it's mostly gay men, we are open to all kinds of people for membership. We have straight women, we have gay women, we have bisexual women, we have women who do all sorts of things with cooking implements. Straight men, gay men, men upside down, purple men, people who are transgender, male to female to male, donkey to kiwi fruit, all of it is welcome, as long as you're willing to make the commitment and do the work.
It's more important than ever that we spread love and joy.
I share with you, America, I'm personally very proud of its happening out, that we can deliver stories like this. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence have done magnificent things in the United States. They delivered in AIDS and HIV far ahead of any other organization in America, including the CDC and the U.S. government. And they've done amazing things. And so we've asked a guest here today from the South Florida Sisters of the House of Rising Sun, and we welcome Sister Glitter Tits and also Sister Pinky Flamigo. Welcome to It's Happening Out. All right. First off, as we told you, this week is the 40th anniversary of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Tell us a little bit about the Sisters.
Oh, absolutely. Just like you've seen from the video that you guys lovely hosted, which I thought was fantastic. We did start in 1979, and 4 gay men decided one night that they just wanted to be fierce. They wanted the world to know that we was here to fight for whoever needed to be fight for. A lot of us come from so many different backgrounds. Myself personally, I consider myself to be a sister that is the shield for the community. I'm always here for people who cannot speak for themselves. And that's always been, I've been a part of this house for going on about 7 years, and that's pretty much my whole journey. to my life, making sure that people know who I am.
Wow.
I'm loud enough so people will know who I am. So
when I would go to events, everybody knows I was principally involved in terms of drag with RuPaul's Drag Race. And when I would see
Name drop.
sisters, I would think, oh, this is drag. But it's not necessarily really drag, is it?
No, it isn't. This is definitely a calling. It's going to take you a full year to become a fully professed sister. So you need to know that serving the community is what you want to do, because that is precisely why we're here. Whether it's the HIV/AIDS community, whether it's the gay community, we've pulled in our allies down here in South Florida with women and kids in distress, things like that. So you definitely have to have a service bent to be part of the Sisters.
One of the interesting things, America, if you're watching right now and you've never seen Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, if you're in the straight community watching It's Happening Out, we have many women and men that are identifying the straight community. I don't know why you would, but you do.
Of course, you're interested.
This might be shocking to you.
To steal their culture from us.
But the Sisters of Perpetual
Wow.
the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are basically a social justice organization.
Yes.
Isn't that?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
And that's really what's fascinating is in certain houses we also have individuals where we have a straight couple and they have their son as a mascot for the house. So we want to make sure that everybody is touched on that. And when you mentioned the social justice, that's one of the main things we all about. We're out there with the political things. We're making sure that, for example, in Fort Lauderdale Beach Party, we had a guy that was saying really profanity things, and I went up and popped my fan and made it loud to make sure that people couldn't have to hear all the hate from him, and people was there to show love and joy. And that's the things we sisters do. It's about being on the front line. And sometimes that could be a little nerve-wracking for certain individuals, but once you put that face on and you realize after that first time that you really affected people and you really are doing something good in the community, it just gets easier and easier.
That's your war paint, girl.
Yeah, it is our war paint.
It's kind of like a superhero costume.
Exactly.
You guys are like superheroes.
Exactly.
Like a superhero. That is really
the original social justice warriors.
Let me give you.
I can own that. I like that.
Let me give you an example of how that is implemented. In 2016, I'll tell you a quick Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence story. In June of 2016, we did a candlelight vigil for Eddie Sotomayor, who was killed at Pulse in St. Petersburg. 220,000 people came to that memorial event. As we're doing the parade and the memorial event, we realized that we got to certain places in the parade where people started chanting Eddie, 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 and was saying his name. We did not know until later that there were free speech zones, and zealots that were really very mean and hateful people would chant on their microphones slurs about the gay community and the loss of Eddie and Pulse. It was not until about halfway through the parade that we had realized that surrounding the free speech zones were Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence that were shouting, Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. And they got the entire crowd in those sections of the parade to start chanting and drowning out the protest. We never heard the protesters. We only heard the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
I will always be grateful. His family was present. His friends and family were present. We will always be grateful for the social justice of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence because of that situation. 40th anniversary, if you see the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence in your community, they're doing good. Support them and help them, and we congratulate you on your 40th anniversary of your
Thank you very much.
Please don't move. We're another ally to It's Happening Out, as we've told you, is the Grand Hotel here in Fort Lauderdale. And they've made a very significant commitment to our community. They're flying the gay flag right out front, and they're doing many things, including the embracement of It's Happening Out to allow us to bring this message, like the sisters, to America. So we want to show you something about the Grand Hotel. Watch this. Great.
Telling.
All right. Well, we thank our partners at the Grand Hotel Fort Lauderdale. Look, if you're coming to South Florida for a cruise or a special event, we have many special events in the coming year. You want to be sure that you stay at the Grand Hotel in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, the gayest place on planet Earth. All right, we're doing a new segment here tonight. We're working it out. Remember, I told you this is a live show, so anything could happen. And we're doing this special segment called, does anybody know how to cook food? Anybody?
I can cook until I met Josie.
I'm really skilled in the kitchen.
I boil water and I burn it.
I'm a master at saran wrap.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, we have somebody from Top Chef on the panel, and that is Chef Josie, and this is our new segment, Cooking with Chef Josie. When we talked about launching this segment on the show, we thought, let's do something easy. Look at this.
By the way,
oh my God, those knives turn me on so much, Josie.
Hello, Daddy.
I think I'm a lesbian.
Right? Daddy with the knife over there.
It was foreshadowing from Al.
I could sleep with a woman.
I don't know, but can you get me his
after that,
number?
isn't it?
I'm just, you know.
All right, America. When we launched this, we thought, let's do something simple like cooking rice or, a
Chicken.
soup or something. Maybe
Al
some
thought that.
chicken.
Foods that old people can digest.
And then we decided, what is a representation of the gayest place on planet Earth? And first and foremost, if you haven't been to South Florida, you don't know that we have exotic animals here. First off,
Other than power.
This week in the other than that power.
Love you.
This week in the Everglades, which is only 20 minutes from this location, they caught a 17-foot python in the Everglades with like 160 eggs.
Yeah, and we all know how you're a size queen, so that's relevant.
or my
that was kinda
companion
good.
is a size queen. All right. So we said, wait, we've got another exotic animal here, and it's called
Chef
the
Josie.
giant green iguana. Now look at this video as we show you this about giant green iguanas. As we're watching this video, American can hear us as we're talking over it. This is in a public park in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, the gayest place on planet Earth. You don't see
so
this
cute.
in Central Park.
So they're adorable, and we just bash them in the head and eat
You
them.
don't see this in the Castro.
They're cool as
You
hell.
don't see it in West Hollywood. You see it in the gayest place on planet Earth. Okay, so you see the video, and we challenged Josie. All right, it's completely legal, and in fact, right?
Open your basket.
Here's
Right,
the
right.
Top Chef opportunity to impress us. And so we challenged Josie. Show us what they encourage. Public officials here encourage because they are there's no predator. This is not a native species in South Florida, and it's eaten as a gourmet item. So we
By
challenged Josie.
someone.
Tell us about giant green iguana and your experience. So you lead us through whatever you're going to lead us.
Okay, so there's a first time for everything, and quite frankly, they had been trying to push me to do this for
By they, she
weeks.
means Al.
Yeah, Al.
Let's clarify.
For 17 weeks.
For you, America, only for you.
Yeah, and and listen, I'm always open to figuring out world hunger, so we can go there. This is an invasive species who eats all our gardens and eats all our veggies and our plants, our beautiful florals, and hangs out in the sun, basking in the sun, and all you can eat buffets. So I said, okay, well, listen, don't ask me to go and hunt this animal, okay? Because I happen to have a lot of them in my backyard, and they don't bother me, okay? I'm an animal lover. They don't bother me. And there's plenty of proteins we're already eating, so I didn't really find the need to add iguana to my menu. That being said,
Here we are.
I took the challenge. We have some iguana today.
I have to tell you before you walk us through this. We have a few pictures this afternoon. We have a host meeting
Oh my
here
God,
at the
we
Grand,
haven't seen this.
and you've got to go to Carlos's page and hear him scream. And we did some B-roll that you're seeing here in the slides of Josie unveiling the green iguana, the giant green iguana, and how it was presented. And we have to thank Exotic Meats, which is a company. They're the top company in the United States in presenting iguana and other exotic meats. And Josie went into the kitchen here at the Grand and started to prepare the green iguana. And you're seeing some of those pictures.
Al, 1 second. I named the iguana.
You did.
Why would you name it?
Lizardo da Vinci.
Lizardo da Vinci. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we
I'm gonna
got
eat your
through the
children.
preparation, and now we're here, and Josie's going to walk us through. We have a slide in terms of the iguana meat and how we're going to make it. Now, first off, what is this called? This is like an appetizer that
So
you
because
prepared.
I have a gluten-free member of our cast, I decided to nix the burrito idea, and that's not very creative anyways. We're gonna do almost like a deconstructed taco, okay?
Deconstructed. Now, is this, in top shelf lore, is this like bonus points that you've just done? Oh, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to do
Okay,
this.
The customer has to be able to eat it. That's how good you are.
Hold up, we made concessions for the gluten-free one, but not the vegetarian.
Well, so
But
I
the
brought a
iguanas
lot
are
of the
vegetarians.
extra stuff here.
Oh,
that
here we
can
go.
be-
I'm gonna get a condiment taco.
No,
Story of my vegetarian life.
It's gonna be delicious.
Now,
So
I want
wanted
to
make sure.
point out, America, you can't see this, but in doing broadcast in multiple bars here in Wilton Manor and now here at the Grand, the entire room has moved very close to the cameras to watch this moment as we get ready to watch this experience. So, explain to us what you're doing.
So what I'm doing right now is I've made this wonderful little cilantro rice.
smells-
Okay.
I love cilantro.
And this is going to be a beautiful little accompaniment. Complementary to our iguana. The iguana has been cooked in coconut milk and in spices.
So it had a spa day.
Yeah.
We're going to show you a slide here
smells
on
humanely
the
done.
ingredients of the meat products for the iguana.
Okay,
the
so
iguana meat.
We simmered I actually cooked the iguana in a pressure cooker. You know, you guys out there, it's all the crave, Instapot. You know, it has presets. All you have to do is take everything you love, put it in a pot, hit a button, and boom.
Or whatever's running around in your
Let's
backyard.
review the meat that we're getting ready to see, the iguana meat. A pound of fresh iguana meat, 2 cans of coconut milk, 1 medium onion, 8 cloves of garlic, 1 cup of chopped cilantro, 1 tablespoon of cumin, half a tablespoon of coriander. I don't ever pronounce that correctly. Chili pasta, and then 1 cup of chicken stock.
Question for you: what makes a pound of iguana meat? Like one?
Well, I'm going to tell you
medium-sized?
this. When we were breaking down the iguana this afternoon, I mean, again, I'm all about solutions to end world hunger. That being said,
She didn't have much.
there
meat.
was no meat. Really, the only thing you can eat on the iguana are the legs and the tail. And just so you know, after cooking it, you will cook it in your slow and low method, which is the preferred method. And then what you'll do is you'll end up having to actually pull the meat out of
Look
the
at Aaron's
sauce
face.
and pick the meat off the bone, because you can't
I can't wait for Power Space to taste this. I'm so excited, America. All right, so you put in rice. Now you put in cabbage.
and cabbage. Now
I
we're
can
going to
smell
go.
the true Puerto
This
Rican
is
coming out
the
that rice, by the way.
iguana. Now this is the iguana we're looking at. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the
Chicken.
iguana right here. It has dark meat. The legs are dark meat. The tail is light
okay.
meat.
The legs are dark. The tail
very
is white.
fascinating.
Okay.
Does it have like fat? Like, is that a thing?
No,
Now,
no.
as,
no
as
fat.
Joe
It's
was
very
doing
lean
this,
meat.
an interesting thing, we talked about this in production. Carlos screamed in the kitchen when this was happening, and there was some cringing when FedEx delivered the iguana yesterday. I was mentioning, I was exotic foods. I was in Peru last year, and one of the top exotic foods that they eat is guinea pig. And in Peru, the guinea pig in a restaurant is in hutches right in the middle of the dining room, and you get to know your favorite guinea pig as they're playing with their ball or whatever. You pick it, and then they cook it in the restaurant.
That's what Carlos tried to do. He posted a video online of the iguanas playing with the ball, being all cute like a little kitty.
right.
You're going to eat that one.
Right? Okay, now
Makes
this
it harder.
is
I think I
A
just
little pickled red onion.
pickled. Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
All right.
We need
Pickle
some
sounds delicious
acidity.
to Al.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little pickled red onion.
Like, there's all the makings of a great freaking taco here. I'm
It is
like,
great.
but then there's a mohawk in there somewhere. A little green mohawk that
I'm curious,
I wasn't ready for.
how are you so far? Because Kyle's standing there just
Yeah.
going,
Quiet
"All
as
I
can
can't
be."
wait."
How am I so far?
Yeah.
She's preparing a dish for me that is never going to be eaten.
Power is not afraid to put any meat in his
Okay.
mouth, yet
And
this won't
and
go
now
in.
what you're doing is adding.
This is
Radish.
a little radish. Okay, you know
Lot
you
of
have
radish.
to.
Okay.
You always have to add the radish.
All right.
When
Aaron.
you're, I'll add extra
What?
radishes to you, Aaron. Okay.
I have to say, I feel like this is a bamboozle because when I first signed up,
Bamboozle.
when I first signed up with It's Happening Out, you know, I was excited to be part of the team, but I was not an easy catch. Darren, the executive producer, had to go through my manager, contractual agreements, this, that, and the other thing. But one thing that helped to really seal the deal for me was I really hoped and believed that we would have cooking segments like this because I love to try new experiences.
Well,
However,
hope you're
now
feeling
is our
adventurous.
first culinary experience. and
Iguana.
it's motherfucking iguana. So, to me, this was a shim sham.
All right, now you're adding cilantro.
Cilantro.
Yeah,
Fresh
I'm just
cilantro.
adding a nice
That
little.
cilantro smells amazing.
Okay, a nice little garnish here.
All right.
And then, you know, listen, we're going to just serve it up with a few little blue corn tortilla chips, okay?
I'm excited.
And,
Look at that presentation. It looks and
gorgeous.
Yeah,
smells
do we need one in front of the
absolutely
camera?
It does smell
delicious.
delicious.
It really does.
Aaron, if I change the name to like Godzilla, is that better?
Godzilla's
No.
a good guy.
all right.
Now wait,
Listen,
wait.
I'm not.
All right. So we're prepared. If you could hold one of the trays up. And
Okay.
you're going to give us a fork, and we're going to try the giant green iguana. Now, this is very important in South Florida because you're watching a food very unique in the gayest place on planet Earth. I'm curious. We have gluten-free here. We have vegetarian here. We have
iguana free here.
What do y'all think so far at this moment? in
Listen,
terms of
I
what we're doing?
decided that I was going to perfect eating one kind of meat and one kind of meat only, and avoid all of this food meat.
Here, I'll just put it over there in case you,
And
you know,
that
change your
was-
mind,
Change your mind.
okay?
No, she
All right.
perfected one thing.
Let's give it a try.
In the
Let's
name
give
of
it
the
a
Father,
try.
the
So
Son,
mine is
and
the-
the
Now, hold on,
Are we
guys,
ready?
hold
Are
on.
we ready? Are we
Here's
ready?
Mine
your
is iguana
napkin.
free.
I won't feel bad if you spit it out. I mean, I get it. Even
Are we
though
going? Jump on in.
All right.
even though I cut it out.
All right.
All right. Can we show a picture of the B-roll in the kitchen one more time at this moment as I get
So
ready
mine is
to
iguana
taste?
free.
Iguana
Well, then
free.
that's just breakfast at Abuela's house. I
Hers
mean,
is
we go.
iguana free, but mine ain't.
No,
No,
there's
no,
iguana.
Hold on. Here we go.
this is breakfast at Abuela's house for me.
Get out of
Okay.
By the way, America, we are so happy that our first woman, our first lesbian, our first iguana
up, sis.
cooking
Oh,
top
no, not
chef
me.
Oh,
is
yeah.
with It's Happening Out,
Yes.
Chef Josie.
Yes.
We love this. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Oh, they behind.
Mine's easy.
I'm halfway through, bitches.
I know what all of these
This is
ingredients
good.
are.
So it's nice and stringy. I felt that way because I was a vegetarian for a long time, but ultimately decided I needed to taste culture and explore, and that's exactly what this is tasting iguana.
Like you can't.
That's
never mind.
delicious.
Can I
Stop
be
at
a
home at
can I be a
Diane's,
judge from Chopped?
Yeah.
The perfect balance of acidity and crunchiness and the juiciness of the
Yes,
meat
tell
is
us-
well balanced.
tell
so
us about that
it's
flavor
a 10 for me.
profile.
The
Yes.
flavor. Yeah.
Actually, in all
You need
seriousness,
to
and
be
I
very
know
Barry
you're
and talk
probably
about a
not going to
soggy
try
bottom.
it, but
A soggy bottom.
it would absolutely not affect you in one iota.
Give me that.
This could be
Oh,
chicken.
yeah.
Oh, you're going
food
to eat
from me.
more.
Because
The
we named him
vegetarian.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Listen,
You gotta try it.
I have
So
not
we,
eaten-
America, we congratulate our favorite
Really
chef.
good.
Chef
Oh, yeah,
Josie
trust.
has a restaurant here in Wilton Manors called Bubbles and Pearls with her
Oh, so good.
her wife Marcy. You must go. We're pushing
For
her.
real.
One of our
Seriously,
cooking
great job.
segments we want to do is bone marrow, and so
Wait, okay,
we have
so which
lots
part
of
is the
things that
light-
we're going
which
to
part is
do.
the light meat?
We
The
hope
light
you've
meal.
enjoyed it.
Okay, all right, hold up.
It's the only gay show I've
Are you
ever
gonna do it too?
heard
Make a
of
little
in
make a little
America.
too?
Here it goes. Here it goes.
All right.
Wait. 3. Wait, here we go.
Here,
Here
look,
we
let me do it
go.
for you. Let me do it for
Swallow
you.
it, bitch.
Wait, I want a little.
Swallow the reptile. Swallow the reptile.
Experience, okay, have that experience. Okay, there you go.
Oh, America, here we go.
Yes.
To me, this is like eating rat, but for Josie's sake, here we go.
I haven't
Here
eaten
we
meat
go.
in 12 years.
I think
so.
you're going to like it.
New favorite food.
You've had worse things in your mouth.
She has masked the disgustingness of the animal with beautiful, beautiful taste. I will give her that.
All right, America. This is our segment, Cooking with Chef Josie. Come to Bubbles and Burls in Wilton Manor. All right. We're going to move on. Thank you very much. You did a beautiful job. We've enjoyed this. I'm going to eat every bite of this.
Me
by the way.
too.
I'm going to eat
I
every
want
bite
seconds.
of it. And there's seconds coming. All right. We do this segment called Road to Stonewall. And we've got a very amazing one tonight. Watch this on our Road to Stonewall.
Ooh, cilantro.
I'm Dan Savage. When I heard about gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender teens taking their own lives after being bullied, my partner Terry and I decided to post a video online to let them know it gets better. You have to live your life so that you're around for it to get amazing, and it can and it will. Who knew a single video would turn into a worldwide movement? There are now over 40,000 videos posted online with over 50 million views.
And every day, it gets better.
And the best part is, it's making a difference. And what the It Gets Better Project did was it brought that down. It utterly and completely, and I believe irrevocably, destroyed the idea that LGBT adults can't talk to LGBT kids. There were no gay people in my family and no openly gay people at my school, but I was picked on because, I liked musicals and I was obviously gay. If there are 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds out there watching this video, what I'd love you to take away from it really is that it gets better. LGBT kids are 4 times likelier to attempt suicide. LGBT kids whose families are hostile or reject them are 8 times likelier. And what the It Gets Better Project did is it empowered LGBT adults everywhere to talk to these kids. The ultimate achievement is that it saved lives. We know for a fact that the It Gets Better Project has saved the lives of LGBT teenagers.
Every once in a while, I see some new iteration of LGBTQ, blah, 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 and I don't know what the letter stands for.
You just upset the blah, 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 blah community
I
just
did,
now.
yeah.
Really?
Lesbian,
Really?
gay, bi, trans, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, leather fetish, two-spirited. It's just like there are lots of people under our umbrella. I'm always telling people who say 2 men can't make a baby, anything is possible for God. Like, I'm going to keep inseminating my husband and keep my fingers crossed. Whenever someone says that being gay or lesbian is a choice, I always look at them and say, okay, prove it. Choose it. If it's something that you can choose, if you can reach into your head and flip a switch and be gay or lesbian or bisexual, then flip that switch and show us how it's done. But like so many, I'm looking to the rallies, I'm looking to the vigils, I'm looking to the support, starting in the office of the president on down, all through the culture and all through society, for the victims and also for the LGBT community, and taking strength from that. It gets better.
You are not alone.
It has helped countless insecure boys and girls become confident men and women.
And thank everybody who has ever made an It Gets Better video, because you have made a difference in somebody's life.
Well, on our road to Stonewall, we celebrate every week the anniversary of the civil rights movement of the gay community in America.
Fish, that's really good.
It's coming. We're still eating.
The vegetarian community throws you out.
All right.
Yeah.
Try to concentrate, everybody. All right, June 30th weekend. World Pride, the celebration of Stonewall in New York, and every week we celebrate a gay icon. And as you can see, we're celebrating Dan Savage, who created the It's Getting Better project. Now, how we celebrate our gay icon is telling you a little bit more about them and giving you a quote of some of the interesting things that they've said. Tonight is no different. And we'll begin with Power.
Well, of special interest to It's Happening Out is the fact that Dan Savage has always been pro-pornography. Savage coordinates the annual Hump Pornography Festival, which is made up of clips of up to 5 minutes on any pornographic topic submitted by viewers. And so Dan, if you are watching, feel free to be a guest at our own little pornography festival, PornCon, coming Labor Day weekend, shameless plug. Yep. So Dan Savage's quote, and my favorite, "I think the best thing for you to do is just live. Just live your life. Live a life that is worth living. One where you do what you want to do. Pursue your passions. That way, if you meet someone, they'll be joining a life that's already really good."
Nice. Aaron, tell us about Dan Savage.
Couldn't tell if that aftertaste was from the iguana or from Dan Savage.
I heard he's big.
Listen.
Wow.
Listen. So Road to Stonewall is an amazing segment, and we have honored a lot of really important people, and I think it's amazing the awareness that it's brought. However,
And also Madonna.
this is the one time, even with Madonna, this is the one time I can't support our Road to Stonewall icon. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to use the power of protest on this one.
Okay, and explain to us why.
He has a long history, and granted, it seems he's getting kind of better about it, no pun intended. But he has a long, long history of transphobia and of biphobia and of anti-blackness. I said recently, it's not, the opposite of racist is not racist. The opposite is anti-racist. I can't support that. I can't support him. He blamed the black community for Proposition 8, which was not only factually wrong, but just morally wrong. And the transgressions he's made against the trans community and the bisexual community that he refuses to apologize for or own up to really in any way other than to pass the buck off to other people and to be defensive. It's not a real apology, and I can't accept it.
I have to say, on behalf of the show, whether the other hosts agree with you or disagree with you, this is the first time we've heard this. This is the first time that this has happened in our Road to Stonewall salute. And I would say broadly, whether I agree with you or not, I'm not really sure. I've got to read more about your observations on Dan Savage. But the one thing that I would say that is beautiful about this moment is if the gay community is going to celebrate gay icons and our road to Stonewall, we have to be able to celebrate diversity of opinion. And of course, I completely embrace what you just did. If for no other reason that we're proud to be associated with our celebration of the Stonewall riots, in that people have different opinions.
And I'm very proud of Aaron for the fact that it took a lot of courage to break tradition here on the show and say, you know, at this time I'm going to do something different and I don't give a damn. So
love you, sister.
Nice.
Listen, I've bitten my tongue through a few, but this one.
Wait, you've disliked things before?
No, this has never happened.
Here and there.
Josie, what do you have to say about Dan Savage?
Okay, so thank you, Aaron, for stepping in there and choosing to protest. I was, when we talk about gay icons, and you guys mentioned Dan Savage, and that was who we were going to recognize this week, I thought to myself, okay, Dan Savage, but the thing that stood out for me, and this is what I think is why we are able to celebrate him this week, is, Dan Savage took a stand for LGBT youth and created the It Gets Better project, video project. And in that video project, it was created to combat bullying and also to prevent LGBT teen suicides, which I think maybe he needs to get some things right, and I'm gonna get with you offline because I'd like to know
Yeah.
more. Okay, and so thank you for sharing and broadening my own knowledge.
And starting the conversation in the chat.
Yeah, and so thank you. And that being said, we all do good and bad things.
Absolutely.
And
I talk about duality all the time.
Yeah, so Dan Savage said, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness means that each of us is free to grow our own way, even if the ways some of us may choose to go seem sinful or shocking to our fellow citizens.
Nice. Carlos, Dan Savage.
Well, I know you guys know me as a fashion designer, but I'm a frustrated actor.
I thought you were going to say a frustrated femme top.
That's just a shirt right now. You have a little ascot going on.
Dan Savage is a theater director. He founded the Seattle's Greek Active Theater. Much of the theater's pieces are queer interpretations of classics like Macbeth, played by performers of the opposite sex, which I thought it was kind of cool. And the one thing that I wanted to, the quote that I wanted to pick was piggybacking. Oh, how do we say it again? Piggybacking. Whatever. On Major Pete. Because I love the fact that he talks about the Bible and we need to claim Christianity back. And Dan Savage said, the Bible is only as good and decent as the person who reads it.
Ooh, nice. Napoleon.
Speaking on taking things back, that was actually a point of view of Dan Savage. And since you took the fetish thing and you took the theater thing, trying to step in on me, I'm going to come in some fashionable DJ diva thing next week. You two. No, he started, and this is the break that he had for his career, he started a column where he gave fake advice to heterosexual people in the way that a lot of advice columns gave clueless advice to gay people that wrote in. And he started each column with, "Hey, faggot," to help reclaim the word, just like you said. And that went on to do a lot of things. I think that the title of the column was called Savage Love, and I think it even inspired a piece by Sam Shepard called Savage Love.
As far as I know,
Alrighty. So it was a big break, and it was a big thing for what he did. I'm also one of those people super curious to learn more about that because I didn't know him as a controversial figure, but I really have loved this guy for a long time and some of the work that he's done with these other projects.
And a quote?
Oh, and the quote. My dad was the homicide cop in the gay neighborhood in the city when gay neighborhoods were desperate, depressing, sad places run by the mob. The only gay people he'd ever met when I came out to him were corpses.
Well, I think, to me, I have to say, I love this Road to Stonewall salute.
Yeah.
Because it's not crystal clear. I love the jagged edge of what unveils in this conversation. I love that. The one thing I would say about Dan Savage is even if he had done nothing else, but it gets better, hundreds of millions of views of people being challenged to remember that times will improve. And as a result, he becomes a gay icon on our road to Stonewall because a long time, more than a decade ahead of a Mayor Pete, he challenged young Americans to say it will get better. And that maybe, in a way, helps set the groundwork for a Mayor Pete to be able to do what we saw this week. And if for no other reason, to me, that qualifies as a justification to celebrate his role in the Stonewall March and our road to Stonewall. So our icon of the week, Dan Savage.
And now for a quick scrolling of everyone we've protested but didn't speak up on in the past.
We are going to move on to a game that we enjoy very much called Truth or Consequences.
Napoleon, that would take another whole
we have
episode.
a special guest to play the
Would take
game
another whole
tonight. This is
episode.
a very exciting game because so much is involved if you win this game. This is the most expensive cost of putting on It's Happening Out. So first, let me introduce our contestant tonight, and that is the one and only Power Infiniti lookalike, Sean Palacios. And
Hey,
Sean,
Daddy.
please, right here. And we're using handheld, or we're going to use this, the sound, whatever it might be.
He's gonna come lean into my
Sean,
mic. Come here.
Welcome to It's Happening Out, and we're excited you're with us.
Okay, so, all right, so since the show is live, there's no way to get around this. I took the wrong card, so I need to use your paper for the second.
I do not think I can do that for you because mine is a modification that doesn't have that. So, all right. So we might.
I have one. It's down there.
Okay.
You have a paper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you grab
Sure.
it?
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Get it.
All right.
Oh, thanks,
All right. We told you, America, this is a
Now-
live show.
now Sean knows the answers.
Okay. All right.
Didn't look.
All right. Here's the thing. Truth or consequences. What we're going to do is I'm going to qualify a celebrity area of quotation. And each of our hosts is going to read a quote. One of the quotes is true, and 4 of the quotes that you hear is false. And Sean is going to try to figure them out. Now, the reason I personally love my friend Sean Palacios, first off, if you come into South Florida, you must see Kitty Meow, his drag persona. But even more important than that, he is the host of a lovely and wonderful television show here in South Florida called Hot Spots Live.
Yeah.
And he does an awesome job talking about the entertainment community in South Florida. And by the way, West Hollywood and New York have nothing on South Florida.
And he's also the entertainment coordinator for Pride for Lauderdale.
Yeah, and blah, blah, blah. We're going to drop all kinds of mics. Who the hell cares? Shut up. But Sean does great things here in South Florida.
Al's
great
drunk.
television.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah, exactly right. Jealous. That's what it is. All right. Well, another reason why we asked Sean to be our guest tonight in playing the game is we're going to do these real and fake quotes. And Sean has played the game how many times now? Twice? 3 times?
900
3 times. And he does so badly at this game, it's become entertaining for me just to watch how badly he does it. And here's the reason why it's important. We're going to ask him 3 questions. And if he gets all 3 right, the owner of the Grand Hotel has promised him a $5,000 bar tab here at the Grand Hotel.
Nice.
$5,000.
I so need this.
And that buys a lot of Coca-Cola and
That's a new
Fireball,
gown. A new gown.
Fireball on the Coca-Cola. So that's why you got to do good job.
Okay, I
good
got
job.
this. I got
here.
this. All right.
So we all understand what we're doing, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's begin. Game number 1. We call it Celebrities Say the Dumbest Things. Now we're going to give you 5 quotes from celebrities. 1 is real and 4 are fake, and you're going to have to figure out which one is real. Let's start.
I can't look at the answers here,
No,
right?
no. Please don't read the cards. All right. We start with Power.
This quote comes from Kim Kardashian, who said, "I'm very pro-choice. Now, I can say that I still haven't had an abortion, but I wish I had."
Oh my God.
And Aaron, your celebrity said,
I think I'm still trying to get iguana out of my teeth. Miley Cyrus said, "I'm a woman now, and I've had many cool experiences, and some awesome ones too."
Cool and awesome. Okay, I got it. All right. And Josie, your celebrity said,
Justin Timberlake said, "Yeah, I used to date Britney. We were a good time. She loved it."
ooh. And Carlos, your celebrity
Film
said,
director and ex-husband of Madonna, Guy Ritchie, said, "It's okay to have beliefs, just don't believe them."
Oh, that's sad. And Napoleon.
I'm going to borrow that for a second. All right. This was Mariah Carey. "I don't believe in democracy or politics. I don't think anyone is supposed to. Isn't that why we elect a new president every 6 years? If we believed someone could do it, we'd let them stay in power."
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Who's that? All right,
Mariah
Sean.
Carey.
Now, Sean, $5,000 bar tab to keep you in the running is at stake here. Who is the real quote?
The real quote is coming from, "It has to be Napoleon.
Napoleon, and your celebrity is?
Mine is Mariah Carey.
Okay. Now wait.
Ah!
Wait.
You're so excited, girl.
No, wait. You're ahead of us. Now we're going to read the real quote. Will the real quote please tell us who they are?
The real quote is Guy Ritchie. It's okay to have beliefs, just don't believe them.
Oh, Sean.
I want to on my card, because I knew that Sean would be standing behind us, I wrote real on all of mine just in case.
You read his card, you cheat. You cheat.
I was cheat defending.
So, first off, now you know, America, why I asked Sean Palacios to be a guest on Truth or Consequences. All right, let's move on.
So wrong.
Game number 2. Now you've been reduced to a $2,500 bar tab if you get the next 2 right. Sean, there's a lot at stake here. Game number 2. Politicians frequently put their foot in their mouth. My show frame, by the way, says food in their mouth. It's foot in their mouth.
Trump does food.
Now, let's listen to the 5 quotations by politicians putting their foot in their mouth. Power, you start.
Well, if any politician can put their foot in their mouth, it's Ben Carson, who basically deep-throat his foot. He said, a lot of people who go into prison straight, and when they come out, they're gay.
Oh, God. And what secretary post is he?
Hood.
Yeah, it's not so smart.
Hood.
Thank you. I teed that up for you, dude. All right, Aaron.
It's that glass of wine.
Yes, your celebrity said.
Because you're being problematic as fuck. So another one who likes to put his foot in his mouth and deep throat it is Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Our favorite. He said, no matter what country they come from, illegal Mexicans will not be tolerated in the United States. And after Cuba, girl, you're going to have to find another illegal Mexican country.
I know, that's true. Bam. All right, Josie, your celebrity said.
All right, so my politician who put his foot in his mouth is another one, Mitch McConnell. The so-called Green New Deal wants to get rid of cows. Some of my best friends are cows. I mean, they have cows. That's different, huh?
All right, Carlos, your
My
celebrity.
politician is the Penguin, otherwise known as Ted Cruz. He's speaking to a little girl, and he's saying, everything will burn if I'm not elected president. We will burn in hellfire.
Oh, dear. All right, and Napoleon, your celebrity.
And like it says, this one's the real one, okay? Mine is Betsy DeVos, the head of the Department of Education in this current year, 2019. Don't kids know better than to bring guns to school? That's an at-home activity. They don't need to read or do mathematics at home. They don't need to bring guns to school.
Oh, God.
That's sad. All right, Sean. Politicians put their foot in their mouth. Which politician did that?
No, that's too easy. I am going to have to say.
Easy?
I'm going to have to say Carlos's. What's his name? The Penguin.
Ted Cruz?
Ted Cruz. Okay.
Yes.
So, Sean, before we do it,
Yes.
Sean is selecting for $2,500 of a bar tab at the Grand Hotel Fort Lauderdale. He has selected Carlos's quote of Ted Cruz. Now, this time, watch the screen, Sean, because we're going to show you the actual live quote. Here's the real quote. Watch this.
Oh,
what?
He said that.
What?
All right.
Oh,
my Hey, girl. Wait.
So for Napoleon, it was art
Carson,
school, and
Ben
for you, it was
Carson
prison.
is the secretary of what department again? All right. Yeah. Right. That's the only thing he can do. Oh my gosh! This doctor said
Did he operate on his own
you
brain?
come out of prison gay. Oh my goodness!
Just
All right,
saying.
let's move on to game 3. Now this is a big one. This is a big one now to all of the hosts. The power moves to the host in this one, because if you get this one wrong, you must buy everyone at the table
An order of
drinks
iguana.
tonight. Anything we want all evening long as we go to Wilton Drive.
Bitch, did you bring that credit card you stole last week?
So
The
here we
clip
go.
for my trick.
Game number.
Yes, queen.
Yes, baby.
Come on.
All right, game number 3.
Here for it.
Celebrities also say the lewdest things. Lewd things. Let's hear what some celebrities said that were kind of lewd. Power?
Well, R. Kelly once gave himself away in an interview when he said this: "My last girlfriend called me a pedophile." Pretty big word for a 12-year-old.
He deserved to
please,
say
God.
that.
Please, God, I hope that's a real quote. I hope that's a real quote. Please, God.
I'm
Please,
just
God.
saying, that was the part of the Gayle King interview y'all missed.
I got a feeling that's going to be the best quote of this this round. Aaron, what
How do you
good
follow
things
that,
did
Aaron?
your
And tonight,
celebrities
this has been It's Happening Out. Thank you for joining us, y'all. My God. Okay,
All right.
so Seth Rogen said, as soon as I hear there's a famous penis out there, I'm the first person to ravenously devour it online.
Oh, that's
Oh my
that's
God,
funny.
he's funny.
He is funny. Yeah. All right, and
All
Josie.
right. Well, this little hottie, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
He said, "My dick got me my first gig."
I thought that was a Chef Josie quote.
Okay, Matthew McConaughey. And Carlos, your celebrity's lewd comment was.
How do you think I got to this table, Josie?
Ah!
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's another story.
And it wasn't that good.
Oh, it wasn't you, bitch. It was production. Anyway.
My God. Wait, I'm curious. Does this happen at Hotspots Live? Anything like this? Yeah.
We
All
keep
right.
it classy there.
Yeah, a little classier show. All right.
So Cardi B said,
Oh God.
people think I'm easy, but bitch, I got a 4 Knox pussy.
Hey. Tell it, sis.
All right. And Napoleon, your lewd celebrity.
This one is from Amy Schumer.
Love her.
One time, this guy asked me if I liked what it felt like to have my pussy licked. So I proceeded to bend him over, smiling, and said, "I'll show you."
Oh.
I had to do it like her because that's the joke.
Oh my goodness.
Visual.
All right. So those are lewd comments. They're all lewd. We're back to Sean. If you want to pass the mic to Sean. Sean.
Be careful, he licked it.
Now, this is a big moment for you because you're going to be buying lots of drinks tonight if you get this wrong.
Oh, shit.
All right. The real quote is
R. Kelly.
Okay.
which one?
Oh, okay.
You know you're in a live television show, right?
I know, but you got me fireballed before I came on, so I can't remember
True.
anything.
That's
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Which
Okay.
one?
Kind of sound like Amy Schumer,
Oh wait,
right?
wait! I'm hearing from production that Peter Clark from Hotspots is on the phone with no.
I'm running.
All right, who are you selecting?
I am gonna select Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer. Okay. All right. Again, in this one, we happen to have the actual video of the comment. This is a big one, America, because Sean and I, for sure, and the rest of us are going to Wilton Drive, and we're going to party all night. And if Sean gets this wrong, he's buying all evening. It's the South Florida Wilton Manors way. All right, production, let's show the real quote.
Oh my God!
There's a famous penis out there, and the first person to ravenously devour it.
Well, let's give a little round of applause from Sean Palacios.
We're going to have a kiki.
Sean, congratulations. You're keeping up your unblemished record
Thank you,
of
guys.
complete failure. Sean Palacios, everyone. Thank you very much.
We can make this shit up, bitches.
Yeah, no, you just can't do it. All right, we're going to play another game that is fun. I enjoy very much because I learned so much about the host. And that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. And play this at home with us. This is fun. We're going to show you a slide of 3 different people, and you get to play the game along with us. You select who you would shag, who you would marry, and who you would chop. Everybody understands?
Yes.
Let's get ready to play. Game number 1. We played Taylor Swift last week. Now let's play her exes. Taylor Swift's exes, number 2.
Oh.
Tom
Say
Hiddleston,
again.
Taylor Lautner, Harry Styles. No, this is an all new one.
How many exes does she have that all look
She
alike?
has loads and loads of them.
Why do people hate
Except for her
her?
one daddy stand, apparently.
Who wants to start? Shag, marry, chop.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
I want to shag Harry Styles because he has the best hair. I want to marry Tom Hiddleston, and I'm going to chop Taylor Lautner.
Okay.
I'll go. Okay, so I want to shag Taylor Lautner. I've wanted to since like we were the same age when he came out in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and then became this super buff, whatever he is, vampire or whatever.
Aren't you both still 14?
Yes. I think he's like 27 now. He's legal, right? He's legal. Okay, then you're going to choose someone illegal one time that's 12 years old like R. Kelly, and it's going to make me look like an ass. Okay, marry Tom Hiddleston because Loki. What kind of fun mischief would you get in with that? Plus, he's classically trained, so who doesn't want that? And then chop Harry Styles because his career is already gone.
I'm curious.
Whoa! Oh my God! Blasphemy!
Whoa!
I'm curious. The geek that you are in Hiddleston. Endgame coming in just about 10 days now.
Was he the
about
angry
10
vampire?
days. Is he coming back in Endgame? Do you think?
There are a lot of theories that Loki did not
What do
actually
you
die.
know from-
I think that I need a date to go see it because I missed out on how hard it was to get a ticket. I think he's still alive. I think he's going to make a surprise
That
announcement.
is as unreal as the entire premise of Endgame because you getting a date is almost impossible.
Ouch.
Who else is going to play the game? Who else is gonna
Wow.
play
Richard
the
and
game?
I are going to have a talk about how you
Who's
talk to
next?
people.
Who's next?
Okay, I
Richard.
will shag Taylor as long as he, taps into his wolfness. And I'd marry Tom myself. He seems like the smartest one. And I'm chopping Harry. He's
Yay.
not even in the league.
All right.
My Pokemon buddy is smart.
I'm going to simply follow suit with Josie. I'm going to shag Taylor. I'm going to marry Tom Hiddleston, and I'm going to chop that child.
All right. And Aaron?
I guess I'm gonna shag Taylor.
Wait, how
guess.
come? There's nothing angry about him.
I know. You gave me really terrible choices
Yeah,
here. Y'all.
okay,
Like
all
I'm
right.
gonna marry Tom
When he
Hiddleston
turns
because he
into a
looks of
wolf.
age. And I'm not into half my age. I'm into twice my age.
Okay.
So, and I'm gonna chop Taylor and Harry.
Will you please stop flirting with me? I mean, it's so inappropriate.
You're at least 3 times my age.
Outside of the range.
And there he goes.
All right.
It's a small window of opportunity for me.
In his life?
And say goodnight to Aaron Phoenix on her
Been great, y'all. It's been good.
All right, good. Let's play game number 2. Now here it is. Tu Wong Fu.
Oh.
It's the
my God.
24th anniversary of Tu Wong Fu. Who are we playing? Wesley,
Let me get my
John, or Patrick Swayze?
Very easy for me.
All right,
Very,
start with
very
you.
easy.
Shag, marry, chop.
Okay, very easy. I will shag Noxema.
That's great.
I will marry Patrick, of course. And John has got to get the everlasting chop, girl.
All right.
No way.
Who else?
I'm going to follow suit. Believe it or not, I will shag Wesley Snipes. And I will marry Patrick Swayze. And sorry, John Leguizamo, but Chi-Chi is out.
Out. All right.
Okay, I'm shagging Wesley too. I mean, hello.
He's getting a lot of shagging.
That's his life. I'm gonna marry Chi-Chi because I love to laugh, and humor is the most important thing to me. And Patrick, I love you too, but I'll watch
You're
you in the
chopping?
movies.
All right.
So I'm gonna shag Chi-Chi because I'm a little drunk right now, and that seems appropriate. I'm gonna marry Wesley Snipes because that's been my future ex-husband like forever. I've had a crush on
Seriously?
him. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god,
Re-
yes.
Why?
He's sexy as hell. His voice, like his smile, that kind of devious kind of smile that he's got.
It's 'cause he's a vampire. Wait,
Listen,
there's a
Wesley
little
Snipes in Blade.
contradiction.
I swear to
Vampire.
God, that was like.
He was good in Blade.
Oh my
but there's a
God.
little
Everyone in Blade is
contradiction there
sexy.
because most of the games, when they're super wealthy, you gravitate toward him. And he had all of the IRS troubles and is bankrupt.
I think
Do
I'm
I
the gold digger.
gravitate towards wealthy
I think he's
people?
confusing you with me.
I totally said I was going to marry Aladdin. When did I say I was going to? Come on
All right,
now.
all right.
And I'm chopping Patrick Swayze
Patrick's
for obvious
gone.
reasons, probably.
All right. Anybody else?
All right, y'all gonna hate this.
I heard he was an
So
excellent
I'm gonna shag Patrick Swayze. I feel like he's dead now. We could do some ghost fun. Like it
Wait,
makes
is he
sense.
dead?
Fetish guy. Come on, it would happen. I'm gonna marry John Leguizamo because humor is important in a marriage, and by definition, that means I'm gonna chop Wesley Snipes. It's just how that order worked out.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
That's racist.
Yeah, right. And it's funny, and I rarely comment on the Shag, Marry, Chop, but I have to make one remark for me personally. Everybody makes jokes about my age, my maturity. But am I alone in that Patrick Swayze in Ghost was like one of the most sexy moments, and then in Dirty Dancing was one of
That's
the sexiest
what I'm saying. Like, who
moments.
wouldn't want to get with
my
and have the
gosh.
time of their life?
I know.
And have him pick you up.
And him pick and the way he touched her down the side of her. I mean, he was just totally.
If you had done this, if we had this back then, when Dirty Dancing was out, would no bitch in this panel say they wouldn't get
Isn't
with,
that
with
funny?
him?
Over Wesley Snipes? Yes, I would.
Because he
I don't
just
care what age I was
evoked-
born
at
in.
that time, he just evoked such romance and such happiness when he was around that it was just it was just
That sounds tragically heterosexual.
Yeah, we're forgetting the raw masculinity of John Leguizamo.
With his plantain.
Wait, what? Speaking, Hellboy's kind of coming out, and his greatest role was in Hellboy. Remember the clown thing, the character he
he's a
had?
clown.
Now, after you watch that, you're never going to think about him in a
I loved
sexual
him in
way
Moulin
ever.
Rouge when he was the little.
But you don't
yeah.
think of him in sexually in Moulin
Honestly,
Rouge.
I did.
Yeah.
I think of him as being Luigi from the Mario
all right,
movie.
All right, let's
looks
move
like a
on. Now,
master
don't
math
show
version
the
of me. I
slide
don't know
yet.
about
Don't show the slide yet. The big topic entertainment-wise
top.
this week was, of course, Game of Thrones. Don't show the slide yet. Now, the obvious thing is we're going to show all of the hot men. My God, the sex
Yes.
scene. Jon Snow's sex scene.
Calm down, Mary.
Oh, my God. Did you see his ass?
Yes. And rewind and again and again and again and again.
God, it was amazing. We're not going to show you that.
We're all about
Game of
teasing here,
Thrones.
folk.
Now let's show it. Let's choose the ladies. Sansa
Yes.
or Cersei or
Oh.
Daenerys.
How are you going to have the ladies all look the same, too?
Are we choosing? Shag, marry, chop.
So
Somebody
they're
jump in.
in character
All right, let me
here.
jump
These
in.
are the characters.
Okay, you want to
Oh,
go?
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right.
We
Or
should have
Cersei
Josie go
or
first.
Daenerys.
Okay.
She's been waiting for this moment.
Listen, I'm totally shagging Cersei. Okay.
You want the bad girl?
Hell yeah.
Marcy is the bad girl.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until right now. All right.
You're the last
Marcy
to find
did.
out.
I'm gonna marry Daenerys.
let me
the
tell you
Dragon
something.
Queen, because I just
I have a little
to.
bit of a makeup on right now that Josie's.
Although I like redheads, as you know. So
And Marcy does it for us right before the show. She does everybody a little touch up. And Marcy, here's the evil girl that Marcy is. Marcy tells me about all of the touch up kinds of things that she's done this week, and I really only like to put on the lipstick, but I did all of this and this and this, and now I understand that because I think of Cersei. Yeah, there's a little bad girl in that one, and now I understand what's going on here.
my
Okay.
queen.
Right.
And I like I'll marry Daenerys because I want to take over the dragons. Okay, and Sansa, I like her, but she's a little too whiny for me.
Was that a boob thing or
Okay,
no?
all right.
Whiny.
All right.
I can't do
Who
the
else?
whiny.
All right. I'm gonna go Shag, I would also go with Cersei. She's just a bitch. Who doesn't want to try it one time? Plus, she'd get pregnant, apparently. It happens all the time in this show. So I'd have my heir to the throne right there. I would marry Daenerys. Emilia Clarke, the actress, is so damn sexy. I would actually shag her easily. She's gorgeous. And, no spoilers, but, like, wrong. What you said, wrong. So I guess that's spoilers.
Yeah, that's a spoiler.
And then as far as Sansa Stark, I love Jean Grey. But
where's Sansa?
I know, but she is not.
Play the
Hence,
game.
that's why it's Chop, because Sansa is boring, and her sister's
all
great,
right,
but
all
Sansa's
right.
boring.
Who else? Who else?
All right, America. I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Me either.
There you go,
Me
bitches.
either.
I watch Project Runway.
They-
So I have no idea who these bitches are, but I am going to sleep with Cersei or whatever, Mary,
Cersei.
whatever her
Shag.
name is.
Shag.
I'm gonna shag her because she got a man's wig, so at least it looks like she got a dick. And then she does.
Believe me, in Game of Thrones,
I
she
can't
does.
even pronounce Daenerys, whatever, but
Daenerys.
I think
she is
I'm
the
going.
mother of dragons.
Whatever, but I think I'm going to marry her because she's cute and she will look good in a dress that I will design for her.
Wow.
And then Sansa is out because she looks fucking boring. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else that I've missed?
Aaron has opinions.
I know.
I don't watch Game of Thrones either,
We
or
don't
Project
care.
Runway.
We
for that
do
matter.
not. Who are you shagging?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna shag Cersei because it sounds like she got the big dick energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna marry the redhead just because they're a little more unpredictable. maybe.
You want to be on top there.
She'd probably
Maybe,
have some
listen,
angry
yeah,
sex with her.
big energy.
I'm a top once in a while. Listen, I'm a little homoflexible. And I guess I'm going to chop the blonde because her eyebrows don't match, and that bothers me. That's all I got.
You're
All
turning
right.
into
I
Carlos.
got everybody?
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah.
You got everybody.
Yeah. And Power, you would shag.
Well, I stopped watching Game of Thrones in like season 1, and I need to catch up. But I do vaguely remember these three, and I would shag Cersei because, like Carlos said, she has that man wig on, and that does it for me. I definitely remember Daenerys or whatever her name is,
Mother
and
of
I
dragons.
definitely would marry her so I can get me some of them dragons and burn up some bitches I don't like. And sorry, Miss Thing, I'll catch you in
reruns.
Your new movie coming out.
Blue Lagoon Part 2.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Phoenix.
All right. Phoenix Rising.
That's right.
Oh, that's a funny joke. America's going to laugh at that, but tomorrow.
Whoa.
All right, that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. We hope you enjoy it. Last thing we're going to do tonight is our little game called This or That. A real quick game of This or That. Our hosts choose this or that. 3 questions. First,
Difficult to understand.
this or that. If winter was coming and the undead came.
Y'all are not going to stop with this, are you?
I know.
Right? We're transitioning
It's all that matters.
right
Hopefully
out
next week.
of-
Nope.
If winter was coming and the undead came, I would sacrifice myself for my friends and family, or that, ever gay for themselves. Which is it? This or that? Real quick.
Oh, I'd probably be stupid enough to sacrifice myself for my friends and
This.
family.
You would
This,
choose
yeah.
this. Sacrifice yourself.
Unfortunately.
That.
I would sacrifice myself for my
This?
friends.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Y'all know
selfish.
that this game is called This or That?
Yeah.
That's how
I
you
just
start?
said that.
Okay, that.
Yeah, that.
It's all about
Every
me.
gay for themselves.
Okay.
That, every gay for themselves. There's no way you can sacrifice yourself to the land of the dead.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. This or that. To my friends,
Man.
I am this. The angel on their shoulder, or that. The devil on their shoulder.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Ooh.
Right?
To my friends? Did you say to my friends?
Yes.
I'm not giving you nothing more. That's it.
Okay, well, I heard to
That's what
my
I
friends.
heard.
So to my friends, I am the angel. Whatever it was, this or that, I can't remember.
Okay. This.
Man,
You're
I
just
guess,
the devil
I
to
guess we're
everyone
not
else.
friends, Power.
Ooh.
I guess we're not friends then.
Finally, you got it.
All right.
Apparently.
The
Finally.
archangel.
All right.
So, yeah, I'm a this.
The angel.
The
okay.
angel.
I am a this also.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm that. I'm more of a devil toward my friends.
your Are you?
Yeah.
You're a
Well,
devil to your
I
friends?
want them to live life and explore and have fun and
No
try
to
things.
self.
The temptation
No to
thing,
self.
yeah.
Actually, and I always say this, frequently, probably the number one thing I get about Napoleon is people think we are not friends. That's not true, is it?
Yeah, I try to encourage you to do things all the time, like walk 20 feet or, anything else. A little low. I forgot the cane in it.
Yeah, all right.
Oh.
All right, this or that, question number 3. If there was a pill that would make me straight with no other side effects, this, I would take it, or that, I would not take the pill.
That.
I would not take the pill.
I'm going to tell you, no pill. I'm gay, and I'm here to stay.
Nope. All right.
Bitch, the only pill I'm taking is Tylenol because my back is killing me.
Well, you shouldn't be on it so much.
I'm sensing some history from last night from you two, and it's making me uncomfortable.
This or that?
Wait, crap! I don't even remember what the question was
The
anymore.
question is:
Are you on your back or not?
Or I would not take the pill.
Oh, I would not take the pill. That. I'm happy being gay. You get so much easier sex. You get more of it. You know who you are. That.
We finished the show tonight on that question because I really think that question and your answers is very significant. Mayor Pete put something out this week that makes us all think. He's not saying in that exact example of the question, what would you do now? He's saying what I would have done at 18 or 22 or even 25. Interesting to me. We won't ask that question here.
It gets better.
But it's interesting from the standpoint of America, and especially young Americans that might be watching our show. It does get better.
That question like comes over me totally different, I think, from everybody at the table. I'll throw my chip in if I have to on this. Because I almost did during that talk. But it's weird because there was a time in my childhood where first it was I might take a pill to not be gay. But then there was a time where I realized I might take a pill just to be gay. Because being gay, being a lesbian, would have meant that I wasn't trans. So there was another layer of that, like, well, at least if I was just gay, if I was only gay, then that would be accepted enough and not as bad, quote unquote, as being trans.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a deep layered question for sure.
Absolutely. We finish this episode of It's Happening Out the exact same way that I started the show. We'll digest the importance of this week.
I thought you were going to say drunk.
I am really putting it out in the blogosphere and in social media. This may be one of the most significant weeks in gay American history. We digest it, and it takes some perspective of time. But likely what we've watched this week is among the most important things that we have seen, which I love that we can still see significant moments as we lead to Stonewall. That's what we digest this week of the Holy Week of Muslim, Jewish, and Christian.
This was a big. We started by going from all of that news with Mayor Pete to immediately going into Notre Dame Cathedral. But we've had such highs and lows. This episode has been insane.
I completely agree with you. And we finished the show tonight the way we finish it, which is all of these people are hungry. And so we have
thirsty.
a national sponsor, and we asked Thomas to come out, our little
Very
hot
thirsty.
friend from Jets Pizza. And we're very excited tonight, Thomas. We're glad you're back here. I'm going to hug you this time because I now know that
he keeps getting closer and closer every
love
week.
It.
I was like, wait a minute.
Now, he opens the, Power opens the pizza here in honor of Napoleon. This week, we have
Iguana
a gluten-free
Oh my God! I can eat it and it smells so good, and none of y'all haven't any.
Now, I haven't ever had it because
think we
I'm
want
I'm not sure. This is a veggie pizza. So this is a pizza of a celebration of Napoleon and Al. This is what I will eat. This is what you will eat because it's gluten-free and veggie.
I thought that was the veggie.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you ate only veggies.
What?
No?
No.
Okay. All right. No
After
problem.
the iguana,
All right.
I'm happy to try new things.
Oh,
it was
that's
amazing.
Right. All right. So, Thomas, I'm curious because it's
know
the
what's
first time
going
I'm ever going to taste a gluten-free pizza. Tell us how this is.
Well, it's obviously delicious, but after today, you guys will obviously put anything in your mouth.
Oh!
I
Once
think you're getting a
again-
little attitude that I don't know if I
Thomas,
appreciate.
I think you'll be sitting here next week.
I was going to say, Thomas, are you interested in co-hosting It's
on?
Happening Out?
Yes,
Because
obviously.
I've got a few bitches I'm going to need to replace.
He
for
throws
next week.
shade like
anyway,
he's gay,
thank
I'm
you
just
very
saying.
much.
All you have to do is
All right.
hurt
All right.
their leg
Thank you
and
very
you'll be
much.
good to go.
All right, America.
Thanks, Thomas.
We say goodnight to you as we always do with a farewell from all of our hosts. And we'll start with Power.
Good night, children.
And Aaron Phoenix.
Good night, gender fuckers.
And Chef Josie.
Good night, people. Stay hungry.
And my friend Carlos Marrero.
Good night, and I am so happy that Napoleon changed from sister to this in 2 seconds.
And my friend NapoleonPlays.
Good night, iguanas. We really do love you.
We've had a fun show. We went a little long, but we hope you thought it was worth it. And remember, America, we really are trying to pursue, does gay community exist? I think in multiples of ways, this week in America and tonight on this show, we found that it does exist. So if it's important to you, remember it's happening out. Good night, America.
Night.
Pizza time!
Morning.